There are 4 patterns that every child tends to fall into. Not labels, not limits, not boxes, but patterns. There are the dutiful children, driven by stability and structure. There are the explorer children, driven by action and adventure. There are the analytical children, driven by logic and independence. And there are the sensitive soul children, driven by peace and connection. And again, none of these are better or worse than the other. They're just different. And when parents learn to recognize which pattern their child leans towards, everyday parenting starts to feel easier. Not because the child changes, but because the parent's approach finally matches the child's wiring. I was first introduced to these patterns by a book called Personalities Plus by Florence Littauer. This is my original copy from about 10 years ago. In the book, she suggests that every person, both children and adults, fall into 4 broad temperaments. And of course, we're all a mix of all of the temperaments, but we all have one that we lean more towards more dominantly. The same way you might be right-handed for the most part, but you still use your left hand sometimes. It's the same thing with personality preferences. As we talk through these personality preferences, I want you to notice 2 things. Which one sounds more like your child, and which one sounds more like you? That alone will explain a lot of the frictions that most parents feel between them and their kids. First, we have the blue SJ guardians. I call these the dutiful child and the protective parent. They value safety, security, structure, and routine. They like to follow the rules and do the right thing. These are the types to ask for permission first instead of asking for forgiveness later. They value integrity, teamwork. They are left-brain logical thinkers, and they're about 40% of the population. Next, we have the gold SP artisan types. I call these the explorer child and the adventurer parent. They value action, speed, and doing what works. They live in the moment. They tend to test the rules and test authority. These are the types that ask for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. They value freedom and adventure, and they're about 30% of the population. These types also tend to be impatient and competitive. Remember the story I told you earlier about the dad, a competitive dad and a competitive son. A lot of time the competitive people are these SP types. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you the other types who are usually not competitive. Next, we have the purple NT intellectuals. I call these the analytical children and the strategist parents. They value intelligence, information, and understanding. They are systematic. They like to follow a step-by-step approach. They want to understand why. They're visionaries who want to optimize for results, and they're about 15% of the population. A lot of times when kids keep asking why is this? Why is it like that? Why we gotta do this? A lot of times those are analytical children. And lastly, we have the green NF idealist. I call these the sensitive soul children and the nurturer parents. They value peace, harmony, equality, and connection. They're mediators who try to create win-win situations. They're future focused, and they think in social possibilities. They tend to say things like, "We are stronger together," and they're about 15% of the population. And this is the type who are usually not competitive. So earlier when we had the competitive dad and the competitive son, the other son who's not competitive is one of these types, usually. If you're still unsure, I want to ask you 3 questions to help you identify which color you are and which color your child might be. Question number 1, are you okay with bending the rules, or do you rather follow the rules? If you're okay with bending the rules, then you're either a gold or a purple. And if you tend to follow the rules, then you're either a blue or a green. Next question. Do you tend to focus on the present reality? Do you focus on what is, what's real, what's tangible? Or do you look at future possibilities, at what could be? If you prefer to focus on the here and now, the concrete, what is the present reality, then you're either a blue or a gold. And if you tend to look more at what if, what could be future possibilities, then you're either a purple or a green. Now, these 2 questions alone should be enough for you to deduce which color you are. But if not, I got one more bonus question for you. The last question is, when you're trying to complete a task, do you follow a step-by-step process and you like to do it the same way every time? Or is your method situational? For example, some photographers, they'll put their prices on their website and everybody just follow the price sheet. But some photographers, they don't put their prices on their website. They rather have people call and they want to negotiate. So if you prefer to use the same method, the same way each time, then you're either a blue or a purple. But if it depends, if your method depends on the situation, then you're either a gold or a green. So I'm curious to know, which color are you and which color is your kid? Leave a comment down below and let me know. And if you're still unsure after that, I made something to help you. I built a fast 3-minute quiz that takes everything we just talked about and turns it into a clear result. Just go to quiz.devintrent.com and it'll give you your personality color and your child's personality color instantly. You can pause this video and take the quiz now, or you can finish this video and take the quiz afterwards. It's completely free and it's the easiest way to get clarity. Now the core problem is this. Some parents try to raise their kids as if their kids are miniature versions of themselves, as if their kids are wired like them, but their kids might be wired differently than them. And that mismatch creates conflict every time. Just how we talked about earlier with the competitive dad and the uncompetitive son. But once you understand these predictable conflicts, you can prepare for them before they show up. Let me give you 2 story examples to illustrate 2 predictable conflicts and see if you can relate to one of them. Here we have a parent-child mismatch between Mrs. Blue and Mateo. Mrs. Blue is a protective parent who values safety, security, structure, and routine. She likes to follow the rules and she always wants to be safe. Mateo is an explorer child who values action, adventure, competition, fun activities, movement, and this is a very common parent-child mismatch. Where Mrs. Blue sees danger, Mateo sees adventure. One day, Mateo wants to ride his skateboard down this hill that he sees all his friends on TikTok riding down this hill in the neighborhood. And Mrs. Blue, being a protective parent, she wants to keep him safe. She tells him, no, you can't ride your skateboard down that hill. Go in your room and read a book. So Mateo, being a competitive explorer child, he feels trapped, he feels suffocated watching his friends have fun outside and he can't go ride his skateboard. Until finally he reaches his breaking point and he sneaks outside to ride a skateboard anyway. And when Mrs. Blue finds out, she runs after him, chasing him down the street, calling his name. And her screaming his name caused him to lose focus and get in an accident. Nothing too serious, just a little scrape. But this situation could have been avoided if Mrs. Blue understood Mateo's need for adventure. Mrs. Blue told him to go in the room and read a book because that was good for her. She likes to go in her room and read a book, but her son is not like her. Her son values adventure and action. Had she known about his need for adventure, she could have found some middle ground. They could have went to a safe skate park under some adult supervision instead of telling him go in his room and read a book. Can you relate to that story? Are you a protective parent? Do you have an explorer child? Or maybe were your parents protective parents and you were the explorer child? Leave a comment down below. Tell me, can you relate to this story? I got one final story for you. Mr. Plum and his daughter Aviva. Mr. Plum is a strategist parent who values logic, critical thinking. They are results oriented. They are thinkers and not feelers. But his daughter Aviva is a sensitive soul child and she values feelings, peace, harmony, love, connection. You can see where there's a mismatch already. He's a thinker, not a feeler, and she's a feeler, not so much a thinker. Let's get into their story. One day, Aviva comes home from school crying because her friends didn't let her sit with them at lunch. And immediately her dad goes into giving a logical solution and tells her, why don't you just sit somewhere else? Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But Aviva doesn't want solutions. She wants connection. Mr. Plum is frustrated because the problem seems small, and Aviva is frustrated because the emotions feel big. Neither one is wrong. They're just wired differently. They both are speaking a different language, and neither one is understanding each other. Can you relate to this story? Are you the strategist parent and you have a sensitive soul child? Or maybe your parents were strategist parents and you were the sensitive soul child. Leave a comment down below and let me know, which story can you relate to? You might have started this video wondering why parenting feels so hard. And what I hope you see now is this. Maybe your kids wasn't trying to be disrespectful or trying to make you frustrated. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding. A mismatch between how you were taught to parent and how your child is wired to experience the world. Proactive parents raise kids according to who they are, not who we want them to be. And parenting feels easier when you stop guessing and start understanding the child in front of you. I didn't say it would be perfect or it would be effortless, but it would be easier because now you have more clarity. If this video helped you to see yourself or your child differently, I want to invite you to do one simple thing. Share this video with another parent who you think might be struggling silently and wondering if they're doing something wrong. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can give is not advice, but it's clarity. If you're ready to go deeper and build on what we started here today, I'll show you inside the proactive parent path. If you haven't done so already, sign up for my next virtual event at register.devintrent.com or click the first link in the description down below. It's the first pinned comment down below. I'm looking forward to talking to you soon. Peace.